Count Dooku is first mentioned in Attack of the Clones.
He is a political idealist, not a murderer.
Whenever I think of this character, I get reminded of this exact statement. Not because of it being a lie, obviously. Rather by cause of that Ki-Adi-Mundi manages to capture the two-folded, often overlooked essence of this villain in a single sentence. Let me explain. Through Dooku's entire life, there has always been conflict within him. In the beginning, it wasn't necessarily about the light or dark. Instead, it focused on ideology, as this bright and young Jedi had his own views of how the Order should understand the world.
My friend, your devotion to rules is sometimes inspiring and sometimes maddening.
He was clearly ahead of his time, or from another perspective, late, since the Jedi qualities he admired were mostly shadows from a distant past. Before Tales of the Jedi were released, this perspective of his could only be appreciated in the books, with one of his best quotes stemming from Legends and the Book of the Sith. In a conversation with Sidious, he states that the Jedi Order's problem is Yoda. No being can wield that kind of power for centuries without becoming complacent at best or corrupt at worst. In short, he saw what Qui-Gon later would understand and what Sidious had already realized, that the Jedi philosophy colliding with more and more power would lead to their downfall.
You serve the Senate.
No. We serve the people of this republic.
None shall defy me, not even you, Master Jedi. Corruption like yours must be eradicated.
No! Stop!
Although his intentions were pure, the two faces of Dooku verbalized through the previously mentioned idealist and murderer were growing by each day. And whenever the frustration took over, the foreshadowing of his inevitable fate was clear as day. This is what the Tales of the Jedi did so well. It expanded on why Dooku turned evil by making him understandable. He was a powerful, respected and wise Jedi, similar to how his former Padawan Qui-Gon Jinn were seen in Phantom Menace. Yet he was also, like Qui-Gon, an outsider, looked upon as unorthodox and therefore never fully accepted by the Order, or that's at least how Dooku viewed it himself.
Qui-Gon Jinn always had such an active imagination, as did you.
A quality valued less and less in these great halls.
This series, with the help of 3 episodes, illustrates how Dooku became an easy target for Sidious. He was pretty much alone, disagreed heavily with the enemies of the soon-to-be Chancellor, and had on at least one occasion showed his infuriating rage. However, for a Jedi to actually do the unthinkable and turn to the dark side, something sensational has to happen. To make it realistic, something has to tip the scale, and in this case, it was Qui-Gon's death. Dooku had warned them about the coming darkness and therefore blamed the Council for his dear friend's tragic passing.
The Sith Lord is not to be trifled with, and I will not be there to protect you, my old Padawan.
You hold them accountable.
Qui-Gon Jinn has become one with the Force. It is time to let him go.
There is a line of dialogue in Attack of the Clones when Dooku expresses his love for Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon always spoke very highly of you. I wish he were still alive. I could use his help right now. He knew all about the corruption in the Senate, but he would never have gone along with it if he had learned the truth as I have.
It always felt out of place, but after Tales of the Jedi it hits on a more emotional level than I could have imagined. The movies painted a very one-sided perspective of this villain. Ironically, it was literally only the Jedi that thought of him as someone morally good.
I think the Count Dooku was behind it.
You know, milady, Count Dooku was once a Jedi. He couldn't assassinate anyone.
is not in his character.
He was mysterious in Attack of the Clones, absolute evil in Clone Wars, and dead in Revenge of the Sith. It all seemed rather underwhelming, and Clone Wars didn't improve things either. He's actually one of the few characters I think got handled very poorly in that show. Extremely one-dimensional, and because of it, not interesting in the slightest.
Your anger is your strength. I hate you. Good.
This is where Tales of the Jedi redeems his entire arc for the fans that haven't read any of the books. It makes us understand that he once was a good man that wanted to stop corruption and evil within the Republic. That he understood the dilemma of too much influence and that it would poison even the most kind-hearted. Yet what he failed to see, or maybe you could interpret it from the point of view that he got manipulated by Sidious, was the fact that Dooku was no exception. His strong ambitions gradually consumed even himself, until there was nothing left but greed and darkness. The exact thing he once wanted to destroy.
How many have died because of my actions?
Such is the price of freedom.
You think Dooku funded his war effort by only stealing from outside worlds? No. He took from us. His own people.
The animated shows delves into how truly lost Dooku had become, stealing from his own city and killing tons of people in the name of a Sith Lord. When I reminisce about his story, I actually think it's one of the most realistic transitions from good to evil Star Wars has presented. It's a story of an unusual Jedi that clearly didn't feel comfortable within the walls of the Order, which desires pointed him in the wrong direction until it was too late. Therefore, the two faces of Dooku are, in my eyes, clearly distinguishable, and you could, of course, with a very twisted mindset, feel a bit of pity for those confused eyes in the opening sequence of Revenge of the Sith.
Kill him. Kill him now.
I always find it interesting that Dooku somehow managed to live this double life of being the leader of the Separatists while fighting a war as a Sith. He do appear with his red lightsaber quite often, at least in comparison to Sidious, and it's not like he tries to hide his identity whenever he has to get his hands dirty. Apparently the world of Sereno, where he had his palace, noticed his unfair behavior, yet it never really affected the cause of the Separatists. At least what we understand. Let me know what you think of this character's dual identity in the comment section below. I also want to know what character evolution from good to evil is your favorite in Star Wars. I still think it's Anakin, even though he eventually turns back to the good side. Here is a video about the story of the Chosen One. Click on it to learn more. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will have a great day.